Public Library, welcome everyone. Gloria is not here, so I will take attendance. Sharon?
Present.
Jim?
Present.
Ken?
Present.
Marty?
Yes.
And I'm here too. Paul did not say that he wasn't coming, so he should be here. With that, roll call. I'll entertain a motion that we adopt the agenda as distributed.
So moved.
And may I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sharon. All those in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Before we get to the approval of the minutes, I'd like to highlight a publication that Smart Living for Fort Wayne, Indiana. In it, actually it's a cover story, Solving Family Puzzles at the Genealogy Center. And Kurt is a featured speaker.
There you go.
So in case you want to check it out, I'll be happy to lend it to you. Okay, with that being, oh, Paul now is here. Okay. Approval of the minutes. Entertain a motion, if you don't mind, to group them, the minutes of the, does anyone object to grouping the minutes? Of the regular session of January 27th, 2022, of the executive session of January 27th of 2022, minutes of the Board of Finance meeting of January 27th, 2022, minutes of the Capital Projects Committee executive session February 14th of 2022, and minutes of approval of claims of February 10th, 2022. May I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. And once again, David, you're up.
Thank you, Ben. And in your packet are the January reports. As typical in January, not a whole lot to report on the financial side because everything's staying within its benchmark. So there are no outstanding items going above benchmark. The main things we're working on now is always are the audit prep. We finished all of the filings for January, all of the required tax filings, as well as now I just finished the debt reporting just today on the gateway system. And so we're hot in the process of getting all the reports done for the comprehensive annual financial report and the audit by State Board of Accounts. It's my understanding, I haven't heard confirmation, but we will probably have that outsourced to Crow LLP. They were the auditors last year. They'll probably be the same this year. And so I'll keep you posted on that, but I would imagine they will start that by April 1st. And should go well. They won't have as much learning curve this year as last year, so keep my fingers crossed on
And they,
it.
as I recall, were efficient and less costly.
Well, the cost still came from the
Oh, I see.
from the
I
state.
thought they
Whether
were-
they cost the state more or less, I'm not sure.
I
Our
see.
allocation is still based on what the state timing would be.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions on the financial report?
Just a quick one. On the bar graph where you show the spending,
Yeah.
that capital line is shooting out from the historic, but I just thought
Yeah.
maybe if you could talk on that a little bit.
Yeah, we had a number of projects carried over, and so
Okay.
that actual spending really is tied to 2021 items that carried over.
Okay.
So, yeah, a lot
And
of
we saw
projects.
that in our allocation
Yeah,
moving forward. so-
Exactly,
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
sure.
Any further questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the financial report for January 2022.
So moved.
Second.
And, further comments, discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Thank you much. Let's move then to the approval of the claims.
I've got the claims for today I can bring around for passage. There were 470,000 in accounts payable, the highest one that you can imagine, snow removal for February. It was 139,000 for that, so that's always our heaviest one. And so also utility payments and so nothing else out of the ordinary other than book purchases, but that snow removal one was the largest.
Okay. Let's hope the snow is light tonight.
I hope so, yep.
Right.
Okay, a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Let's move on to our committee reports and Chair of the Capital Projects Committee, Marty.
All right, thank you, Ben. I'm not going to make this a real long report tonight. We are going to be having a special meeting that just went out on March 9 at 6, which I was glad to see the library sent out an email to everyone today, to the public at large, to please attend that, because we will be having a presentation and talking more about the facilities master plan and how it will, options regarding moving forward. I will let everybody know, the board and whoever's watching as well, I thought the open houses went remarkably well. I thought they were very open, and people had a very free discussion. We certainly heard varied points of view during all of those. I think the survey, I think we have over 1,200 results so far. Those are all being tabulated for the committee, so I haven't seen the results yet myself, so the board hasn't seen them either yet. But we're going to get that together. I think so I was very happy to see that we had over 1,000 responses. I think people have been talking to probably all of us as board members as well, which I'm happy to see as well. And I think we're still, again, it's still an open process. We do want people's comments to us, so we're hoping that to the extent there's further questions, they can attend the March 9 meeting at 6. Will be live. You can come here in person, or it also is going to be live streamed here at here in this room, the main room here on the first floor of the library. So I welcome everybody to do that. If any board members have questions, I'd be glad to answer them. But right now, I think we're kind of moving towards the March 9 date. We are still on track to try to have a presentation, which the board will decide on at our April 7 special board meeting as well. So please, everyone, attend that. That's very important.
Questions on the capital projects report? Okay, let's review and approve, we hope, the 2021 state report to the Indiana State Library.
Yes, if it's February, it's annual report time. Thank you, Ben. So you have before you the full, I believe, 58-page document of the annual report, plus you have the one-page highlight reel. This is a very important and very laborious task that we must complete each year for the state. It involves a lot of staff and a lot of work, and I want to thank all the staff who were involved, including Helen, who did the data entry. Thank you, Helen. And I also want to thank Denise Davis, because before she retired, she did everything she could to leave us in good shape and ensure a smooth handoff. So thank you, Denise. When we migrated to a new computer system in 2019, we cleaned up records and holdings, and you also receive each month in your packet a collection report from Nate, our main library manager, that tracks what items are added and removed. So we feel very good and confident about the collection numbers in this report. A number that is becoming increasingly challenging to track over time is our program statistics. So back in the day, when I was doing story time years ago, it was pretty easy to count your program attendance because you would just look out in the audience and count 1, 2, 3. It's a new world as far as programming, and now, besides counting the 1, 2, 3, 4 people in the room before you, you're counting the people that come to the story time at the park, you're counting people who are watching virtual programs in real time, and you're counting people who are watching virtual programs archived. You're counting people who are watching, and you're also counting the devices they log into. So it gets complicated. Sometimes we want to pull our hair out, but we do our very best to compare apples to apples and keep it straight. The Federal Institute of Museum and Library Services, they are the ones who ultimately determine what kinds of things are asked on these state reports, and they are constantly evaluating the best way to consistently track these new measures of data as libraries are used in new and different ways. So the on-ramp to moving back to normal, pre-pandemic, is a little slower than I think we originally hoped, but it's moving in the right direction. And from talking with my colleagues around the state and the country, we are not alone in this. So we did come back some from 2020. We still have a ways to go as far as getting back to those normal usage levels. But I am pleased with the trajectory that we're doing. So visits increased from 1.2 million last year to 1.34 million. Registered users increased from last year 182,153 to our current number of 188,086, 1880086. Circulation, which is how many items are checked out, that increased from 3.1 million to 3.6 million. We have almost 2.7 million physical items in the collection, meaning things you can hold in your hand, including 2.5 million print books. Some of our collections are growing. Our ebook collection, which exploded in popularity during the pandemic and continues to grow, it grew from 68,523 to 75,499 titles. And something that's more traditional, our print serials collection, which means magazines and periodicals you can hold in your hand, they grew from 38.39 to 39.80. And we spent just over $4 million on collections. So to put that in perspective, collection expenditures as a percentage of our operating budget is 13.5%. The state standard is 8% in Indiana. That is the minimum that we are required to spend. And the national average is around 11%. So we are greater than both of those. The number of wireless internet uses increased from, these are big numbers, 783,781 to 857,398, so a pretty big jump. A number of reference transactions increased from 68,997 to 73,267. Website views increased from 1.27 million to 1.4 million. I think that's interesting to note because website views, that is something that's not dependent on the library being open, and yet we are increased quite a bit. Live virtual program attendance, meaning the people you can count watching the virtual programs in real time, that increased from 31,297 to 37,953. And a lot of that is due to the robust genealogy virtual programs that we have that truly have people watching from across the country and the world. Kurt forwarded me a few days ago an email from a viewer in Australia, I believe, so a real international feel there. And finally, our in-person program attendance, people who are in the room in front of you, listening to a library program, participating, it increased from 16,673 to 21,300. So we are moving upward and onwards, and I am very optimistic that we will be here this time next year showing even more growth. And I am happy to answer any questions.
Did I see correctly that, we're going to start having programming inside again, coming up next week, right?
March 1st, that's right.
Good.
Is the operating expenditures per capita, is per capita really per capita for the county, or is it some other metric?
It's for the
Or is it
county.
and it's not taxpayers, it's total population?
Exactly.
What was it last year, do you recall?
The per capita?
No, the operating expense per
I
capita.
don't know. I don't have that one with me,
I think
sorry.
it was higher, lower, or?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It should be in here, Paul. I may have to dig a little bit.
That's all right. I can find it.
I have a question. What does the state do with the reports?
The state that's a very good question. So a few things. They tabulate all the answers and put them on the state library's website. So you can get some means and medians and averages of libraries across the state. They also submit it to the Institute of Museum and Library Services, and they, at the federal level, use those to kind of evaluate trends in the field and determine new and different programs, new grant programs, things like that. Also, in order to be eligible for any kind of state or federal grant, we have to file this.
I see. Okay. So people actually read this stuff,
They do.
or at least some
I do.
At least some do. All right. Any other questions or comments on the state report? I'll entertain a motion then that we approve this. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Paul. Jim, a second. Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Well, another
Thank you.
year.
We will hit the send button on that and get it to the state.
Okay. Let's move then to the executive director's report, which was in our packet.
Great, thank you, Ben. So you do have a written report, a few highlights from it. ACPL is celebrating Black History Month with numerous activities taking place around the library system, both in person and virtual. Last Saturday, I was at a wonderful breakfast cooked by our security guard, Charlie, in honor of Black History Month at the Pontiac branch. They talked up his eggs. He has famous eggs, by the way, and they really were that good. It was worth the hype. While you are here today, if you haven't already, I really encourage you to check out the photography display in our children's area and our teen area. They are being borrowed from the Fort Wayne Museum of Art's traveling collection, Afros, A Celebration of Natural Hair, by Brooklyn photographer Michael July. The exhibition shows the power, beauty, and glorious nature of the Afro and tells the deeper hair story of each of its models. The photos are absolutely stunning, so I encourage you to check it out before you leave tonight. We once again are working with the AARP to host and facilitate their tax aid program, and that provides free federal and tax preparation assistance to anyone. It is extraordinarily popular, and thankfully, we are able to expand it from last year. Last year, we helped over 2,000 people, and this year, we are on track to helping over 4,000 people, and we are having it at multiple libraries throughout the system. It's so well-used and well-depended upon, and we're just happy to partner with AARP again.
And they're here right now.
They are here right now, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I thought they were attendants for the board meeting.
Well, we
and I
can
got
invite
e-
them in.
Got excited, but
And Marty mentioned, yes, luckily, our COVID rates are falling steadily, and we also are seeing a decline in COVID-related staff absences. So we are feeling confident to move forward to get back to normal. So what that means is that earlier this month, we restored weekend hours at all of our branches. We are returning to in-person programming beginning March 1st, next week, and starting Sunday, March 13th, all locations will return to their normal pre-pandemic business hours. We're so excited about that. Also of note, and very exciting, is that we are planning for our first normal summer learning program since 2019 with a full slate of programs and performers, and that does include Rock the Plaza coming back in its typical fanfare. So exciting times ahead. I also wanted to share that this week, 2 members of our management team are leaving after many years of service and many contributions to the library. Director of Collections and Information Technical Services, Kim Quintrell, and our IT manager, Topher Schlatter. They collectively have almost 65 years of service to ACPL, and we thank them for all of their dedicated work and will greatly miss them. And I also wanted to give Lorraine an opportunity to talk about a new hire that we have coming next week that we're really excited about.
So Myra Presley is joining as our employee experience coordinator, which was a training specialist that we revised the role a bit. She starts next Monday. So she comes to us most recently from the Airport Authority, where she did, where she did the training and onboarding for staff there. So we're really excited for her to join our team.
Can you restate her role?
Yes, she'll be the employee experience coordinator.
Thank you.
And on that note, we did do a refresh of our careers page on our website, so I encourage you to check it out. The URL is right there, acpl.lib.in.us/careers. We have several really interesting opportunities open right now, full-time and part-time, library staff, and also support staff. So for anybody watching at home, we encourage you to check it out and see what we have to offer and join our team.
that's it.
That's it.
Quite active. Very nice. Any questions?
Just a-
I have, just on Kim and Topher leaving, that is many years of dedicated service to our library, which I want to personally say I think they've done a great job, but that's a lot of experience we're losing. So what is
It
the
is.
plan to replace them?
It
or-
is.
And how are we moving forward with
Yeah,
that?
good question. So we are currently in the process of interviewing for that IT manager position, and we are hoping to fill that probably within the next few weeks. And we are evaluating the Kim Control vacancy to see what makes sense going forward. So I plan on coming back to you probably in a month or so with a plan on what that might look like. In the interim, we have divided duties among senior staff. Kim Boland, Lorraine, and I are all taking a piece of what Kim usually oversees, and we are in the interim managing that.
Just with regards to Topher Slaughter, I'm pretty sure it's the same person because there's not a whole lot of people named Topher, and I believe his full name is Christopher. He was camp counselor at Camp Potawatomi, so I remember
Yes.
growing up and enjoying weeks up there in the summer with him. He did a great job there as well.
Same person, you're absolutely right.
Any other questions? Thank you, Susan. Well, let's entertain any new business. Or first, was there any old business? How about any new business? Well, hearing and seeing no one on that, we'll have public comment, and the public seems to be afraid to go out because it may snow. So we don't have any public comment, but any good and welfare before we adjourn? This is almost a new record, too. Well, then, I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all those in favor, aye. Opposed,
Aye.
nay. We stand adjourned, but please stay, we have an executive session following.